These are the top 5 worst owners in football according to NFL players. Every single active player in the NFL was recently sent out a survey by the NFLPA asking them to rate the overall working environment for the team that they play for. Everything from coaching to ownership to strength and conditioning to training staff to nutrition, everything was covered in these surveys. And based on this data, these are the top 5 worst owners in football. At number 5, we have David Tepper of the Carolina Panthers. Although Tepper is widely viewed as one of the worst owners across fan bases and the media, there's still some gap between Tepper and all the other guys who are on this list, according to the NFLPA. The major issue bringing down the team grade comes from the responding players' belief that club owner David Tepper is not willing to invest the necessary money into the facilities. This is a common complaint that you will see throughout this entire video. The number one example is the field surface in the stadium, with ownership deciding to change from natural grass to synthetic turf in 2021. When asked about this, 100% of the player respondents in Carolina said that they would prefer to play on grass than turf. It's a major frustration within the locker room, feeling like they are being forced to play on a surface that is not as safe simply because it is cheaper to maintain. And this is a common complaint across the entire NFL, that guys do not like to play on the cheap slit film turf surfaces. They would much prefer to play on natural grass, which has much more give to it, and you're a lot less likely to get your foot caught in the turf, causing a major injury such as a torn ACL or a torn Achilles. Data supports that those injuries are more likely to occur on artificial turf than grass, and the fact that the Carolina Panthers went from grass to turf really rubbed a lot of players the wrong way. At number 4, we have Joel Glazer of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Club owner Joel Glazer ranked 29th across the league when it comes to the question about a perceived willingness to invest in the facilities, and the reason for assessment is reflected in the data collected across categories. The players described the locker room as unclean and smelly, and they even cited seeing bugs consistently in the showers. Respondents also described the team sauna as dirty, small, and broken down. Also, younger players must have roommates on work travel, a very non-common practice in the NFL, unless they pay the team more than $1,750 for their own room each season. They do have a daycare room for players' children on game days, but charge players' families $90 per child, and this is a service that most other NFL teams offer for free. So, not good, man, when you're not having the basic respect there for your families, for your team's families, by not providing them free childcare, and then providing your players with smelly, unclean locker rooms and bugs in the shower and dirty, broken down saunas. That's not going to bode well for you, despite the fact that the Buccaneers recently won a Super Bowl and are thought of as one of the better organizations in football over the last 20 years. Clearly, this has not been the case here. At number 3, we have another, at least historically well-run organization and a respected family of ownership in Art Rooney II of the Pittsburgh Steelers here at number 3, but clearly, the players do not feel the same way about what's going on in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers actually ranked 28th overall this year in team report card grade. Unsurprisingly, the highest marks for the club go to head coach Mike Tomlin, with respondents reporting that he creates a great workplace culture by respecting them and their time. Beyond Mike Tomlin, in the opinion of responding players, the Steelers fall short and far behind workplace standards across the NFL. For example, they are one of 4 teams that do not provide their players' families with either a family room or daycare on game day, so players are forced to find outside childcare on game day if families want to attend games, unless they want to bring their kid to the game, which isn't exactly conducive, especially to younger children. They are also one of 7 teams whose players feel their weight room is no better than where they could train off site. So they could go to some ex-NFL player's gym or maybe even just some other private gym, and they'd be able to find better weight room facilities than an NFL weight room. That is embarrassing. The players also feel they lack necessary staffing in the training room to receive the appropriate amount of individualized care. So if a player is dealing with a specific injury, then sometimes they feel like they're not going to have adequate attention to that injury, which can be really, really frustrating, especially if you're really fighting to get back onto the football field. There is little confidence amongst respondents in the willingness of club owner Art Rooney II to invest in a better workplace, as he ranks second to last in this year's report. That is not great. Number 2, this one does not come as much of a surprise. He was ranked quite low last year as well. Michael Bidwill of the Arizona Cardinals. Despite the fact that the Arizona Cardinals ranked near the bottom of the report card this year, it is important to note the club made improvements from last season, which increased their grade across multiple categories. Notable upgrades from last season include providing a daycare and small family room, and they stopped the practice of charging players for dinner. The club also upgraded their weight room with new equipment and replaced the hazardous floor from last season. The underlying issue here is the facility itself. Ratings of the size of the locker room, training room, and weight room rank amongst the lowest in the league, with players comparing it more to an office building than a premier athletic training facility. The responding players' belief in club owner Michael Bidwill's willingness to invest in facilities remains low in comparison to the rest of the league, but it is significantly higher than last year given some of the upgrades. Additional upgrades and changes, such as greater variety in the cafeteria and renovating/expanding their locker room, as noted in the sections below, would instill more confidence going into next year. Before we reveal the number 1 worst owner according to NFL players, please be sure to smash the like button on this video, as well as subscribe to the channel, guys. I would really appreciate it. Those are 2 free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more NFL fans just like you and me. And finally, guys, the number 1 worst owner according to NFL players comes at a big surprise, despite the Kansas City Chiefs winning 3 Super Bowls in the past 5 seasons. Clark Hunt, the Chiefs owner, ranks as the worst owner in the NFL, and the main reason for this, a common theme in this video, is his lack of willingness to invest in team facilities. The Kansas City Chiefs come in second to last place among NFL clubs in this year's survey. One bright spot for the team is head coach Andy Reid, much like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who was rated the highest head coach in the NFL by the players. Other than that, the players are frustrated by their workplace offerings, especially after the team sustained success in recent years. The response identified major issues in 2 areas: quality of care and out-of-date facilities. The number 1 complaint when it comes to the facilities is the locker room. Though the players received actual chairs with backs to sit in their lockers in response to last year's feedback, it did not change the fact that the locker room is overdue for a renovation. What adds to the frustration is that management told the players that renovations would come after the 2022 season. The players went on to win the Super Bowl, and when they arrived back at their facility for 2023, they realized the team never followed through with the promised renovation other than adding the chairs. The players' issue with quality of care is mostly centered around the training room. The players feel that the training room is significantly understaffed, with only 43% of the team responding that they feel that they get an adequate amount of one-on-one treatment time. Players feel that staff is unwilling to provide the necessary treatment to support recovery and performance. For example, players are not allowed to get preventative treatment, soft tissue work, or other care for soreness and day-to-day issues, which is a regular offering across the rest of the NFL. For the results, it's clear that there's not been a significant reinvestment back into the facilities even after the team's consistent success. That has led to a high level of frustration among player respondents and reflects in club owner Clark Hunk's rankings as the least willing to invest in team facilities among all NFL owners or ownership groups in the opinions of the respondents. So this is not a good look for the Kansas City Chiefs at all, especially when you consider the fact that they're a team who tries to attract a lot of top-tier free agents because of Patrick Mahomes. The fact that they're offering them these bottom-tier facilities doesn't bode well for them. Sure, Patrick Mahomes is the ultimate selling point here, but you may want to try to sell the idea a little bit more with better team facilities and a better willingness to invest in your players, because your players are your product at the end of the day. And if your players are pissed off, then you're going to have an inferior product. The fact that the Kansas City Chiefs have not been willing to invest these resources and reward their players for the sustained success is shocking, quite frankly. To the credit of teams like the Cincinnati Bengals, we've actually seen them invest a significant amount of money into team resources after we've seen them have more success as a squad. The Kansas City Chiefs have not shown a willingness to do that, and that has brought down their overall grade and ranked Clark Hunt as the worst owner in the NFL with an F- grade, according to the NFL players who were surveyed in this survey. All right, guys, I am curious who you think is the worst owner in the NFL based on these NFLPA rankings. You can go check them out with the link that I have left in the description down below. And until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.